going to start this video on a big high note. A big thank you goes out to all of you out there. Look at this, I'm at 2,500 subscribers now. This I achieved during the week. And don't forget, if you'd like to see this number grow, please do subscribe as well. And let's see how quick we can get that growing. Nice 24 hours I've had here. It's 48-hour mooring. I just spent the one day, a great day yesterday with Pete and Pauline. Probably seen them already in the video. Pretty sure I recorded them leaving early this morning, or leaving just before I have this morning. I'm not going far today. I'm just going to go on up to Anderton Boat Lift. Well, no one can complain about beautiful views like this, can they? Right. Wonderful old majestic trees here. Sycamore there. Ash there. It's beautiful, aren't they? Well, Bridge 176, as I told you, was Hell's Kitchen Bridge. Bridge 177 is Murder Bridge. Some great names, eh? No, it's very difficult to tell from the views here, but the canal here is cut right into the hillside. We have an embankment this side, and we have a steep drop off this side. Good job to see this camera, there's just a bit of see through the trees there. That's quite a drop off. Well, after just going through that rather beautiful woodland area, we now have a rather overgrown canal with all these reeds here. Not really much more room than for one boat without actually getting stuck up in the reeds. So I'm hoping to get through here without another boat coming. I guarantee there will be one, can't you, when I say that now. I don't know how long it goes on for. But, I'm going to speed up a bit so I can get through them a bit quicker. Well, good news for me, I've just about cleared the reeds now and I didn't meet any boats going through them. So that's a bonus. Well, there's another heavily reeded area and on a bend, so I've got no idea if that's coming or not. It looks like this heavily reeded area is not very long, so I've almost cleared them already. I have cleared them already, so I'm good to go again. Bit of a shock, I didn't expect to see a boat moored up here as I come around that corner. Well, this is a very nice property here on my right hand side, and just look at the wood they've got in their woodshed. That'll keep my fire going for a long time. Road bridge there and the canal bridge here. It's quite new. Let's see, I'm assuming that rail line is still in use. The sign just back there saying shallow water, do not enter. It's another flash. You can tell the shallow water. There's that heron there. It's obviously standing on the bottom. This sort of reminds of me a little bit of Tixall Wide. Well, of course, when I said it reminds me of Tixall Wide, a mini version of it. And of course, Tixall Wide, you can actually take your boat right across, and that I wouldn't even want to try when I saw that heron standing in the water. It says slow tick over. Why? I'm thinking that this was actually moorings all the way down along here. That's why it said slow tick over. As I see tyres hanging off and people's made stepways onto the canal. There's no boats here now. I'm guessing that's what the sign was for, although I do see 2 or 3 boats coming up just around the corner as they're redoing the moorings here. And look, obviously a new marina going in. We do have a few boats already moored here on the outside, and that's all by Bridge 182. Well, this is Broken Cross. There's an awful lot of new build houses here. Well, we have a pub here, the old Broken Cross. It's next door to Bridge 184. We're now going right through the middle of the chemical plants here, and look, they got a company swimming pool. Perhaps not. Just so happened to have the camera still running when this happened. If you look in the red circle, you'll see a GRP has just come straight across the canal in front of me, out of a little dock landing area. Now I've got to try and stop my boat from flattening it, and my boat does not stop very quickly. Well, the guy that pulled the boat out by rope has now just seen me. He is now trying to pull the boat back out of the way. I must admit, he's apologising like hell. You know, these things happen. I'm just glad I haven't hit it. Takeover, but just as well. Known by the remnants of these posts sticking up here, I assume there must have been a dock landing along here at one point in time. Well, I'm going to moor up here, right behind this boat. Well, this is Lyons Salt Work. It says on there, open each day 2 to 5, May to September. Whether it is still or not, I'm not sure. It looks a little bit overgrown to me. I'm going to take a walk in and find out. I've just moored up here I'm not far from the Anderton Boat Lift. I'm at the Lines Salt Works. Now I think they're still open to the public, but saying that, it's looking rather overgrown in here. I'm not quite sure. The sign says, if you can just about read it still, visitors or visit. Lines Salt Works open each day 2 to 5 May to September. It seems, I think it's the 12th of June today. Might be the 13th, something like that. Hopefully they are open. Let's go and see if we can find the way in. I'm moored next to Bridge 193. I've just come up from Bridge 193 and walking down the road. Ingram, Thomas and Sons Line Salt Works. I didn't realise there was a pub opposite, but it doesn't look like it's open yet. Well, here we go, let's see what we've got. Closed all Mondays except for bank holidays. Isn't that brilliant? It's a Monday today. I'm going to walk in and see what I can see without actually getting in, I guess. So I've always picked the right days. It says the tea room's open, so I guess I can come in to a certain degree. Just love this old machinery. I guess the door's open, I can look in. Isn't it just wonderful? This is one of the old salt drying pans. The brine would be pumped up from underground and put into these giant pans for drying. This time of the year, weather like this, they're dried nicely. Chimney there was for something, obviously. Well, I've just spoken to a lovely young lady and she says there's no problem walking around the outside at all, so I will continue and look at this for a chimney. So I'm going to come back in here now and have a proper look. A lot of this machinery was for pumping up the brine from underground. I imagine that's what this was the engine house. That's what the big chimney was being for. The wells here. Electric motor in there now. Quite fascinating. Electric submersible pump. Well, just reading on there, the last borehole was sunk in December 1964. I did wonder if that was something that was rising from the bore, which is the bit we can see just there, look. Even got some plans here, look. Preliminary details for brine pump. There we have the engine house equipment, where we are now. Steam engine, which has no manufacturer's nameplate. It's commonly referred to as the Marcus Allen, due to a markup achieving drawing date 1910. Boiler feed pump, the heat exchanger, seen that outside, the boiler feed water tank. Oh, what a surprise, it's got a Cornish boiler. So obviously because of all the tin works and tin mines and copper mines in Cornwall, they were top notch for making them. Electric motor drive. A windlass. Not quite the windlass I use on my boat, is it? Steam driven windlass, and the pump house was used to haul coal wagons and salt vans up the gradual incline from Cross Street, Marston to the works. Look at that. Well, the buddleia is also known, of course, as the butterfly plant. That's not a buddleia, that's an apple tree. It's a plum tree by the looks. Ah, there's some buddleias, look. Yeah, a buddleia, another buddleia. Lots of young buddleias. I believe that's a Old English rose. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong, of course. Here's one I do know. Lavender. I smell it's beautiful. It looks like an apple tree, but I don't see any apples on it. Some of the Old English varieties of apples would only fruit every other year. I guess that's where the kids can go and learn all about the butterflies and everything else that goes on here. I'm not sure what this is known as over here, but I know this is a wild gooseberry. I think it's a gooseberry family. As I say, I know it's a wild gooseberry. Or I'm correct in calling it that, I don't know. As you can see, I think it looks like gooseberries. No idea of the name of this plant. I could cheat, I do have my phone in my pocket, and I could cheat and use the plant app to recognise some of them, but I'm not going to. If you wish to look them up, you're more than welcome yourself. Oh, this apple tree here, look, does have some apples on. And this one has lots of apples on. Of course, we're a little early in the year yet for picking apples. And the cherry tree has quite a few cherries on. Just starting to turn colour. Oh, it's the start of a willow arch here. These are willows, young saplings which are just pushed in the ground. Actually, you can just take them off the willow just as a sort of a cutting, really. Push them in the ground. Come springtime, they're liable to grow. This looks like a sweet chestnut tree to me. I don't see any chestnuts though. And yet another sweet chestnut tree. I can just about see the flowers are just going over. So the chestnuts are yet to form. There we have a rowan. A holly. I was trying to actually determine what type of, I know it's a willow. I was trying to determine what type of willow. I'm not certain. Hazel and hazelnuts. This is the rubbish tree. And here we have some silver birch. Quite obviously named silver birch. Let's just look at the colour of its bark. What a magnificent piece of engineering. This is the old belt drives here. The old flat belts would have driven this. What it's for, I've absolutely no idea. I can probably look it up on the sign right here. I'm guessing it was probably driving the bellows. See it here, look. My grandfather used to have an old belt driven saw. It wasn't like this, but yeah, there was a saw like this and belt driven. I don't know if the cameras can see anything inside there, but we can. Well, I can see the old forge. An anvil and a big old vice there on the bench. Well, that's basically concluding my walk around Lion Salt Works. I found it quite fascinating. Unfortunately, I turned up on a Monday, the only day of the week they're closed, but the lovely lady said I was more than welcome to wander around the outside, which I've done. I did intend to end the video there, going around the salt works. The next morning I got up and I realised I wasn't very far now to my destination, and I had a whole day basically to waste because I was going down the lift the following day. So I walked back down again in the morning to actually go and do the tour. Let's see what happens, shall we? This is the entrance, which is normally open most days from the canal. Unfortunately, the gate's not open yet, so I'll have to walk around again. Well, I see a coachload of elderly people have turned up, so I guess I'll fit right in that group. Well, although I was actually there before the second coach, they were all part of the same group, so obviously they all went in together. So I was sort of at the back of this group now of about 60 people. So I'll let you know what happens in a few moments. Well, what I've actually decided to do is not do the tour and not go into the actual main part of the museum. All these people are in front of me, and before I can actually get on the tour to learn a bit more about it, I'm going to be waiting about 2 hours, I've been told. So I'm going to film around in here, which is the sort of the entrance to the museum, and I'm going to call it a day. Oh look, on the way back from the salt works, look what's happened. Thunderstorms have hit. I'm standing under the bridge. My boat's only there. I get soaked walking those few feet. I'm just going to let it go over for a little bit. Whilst I take shelter underneath the bridge here, waiting for this storm to pass over a little bit, this is where I'm heading to. Yes, in the next episode, you get to see me go down the Anderton Boat Lift. Well, that's it for this week, folks. Great one to look forward to next week. Yes, the Anderton Boat Lift. Also, a big thank you goes out to all of you out there, all you subscribers, Patreon, PayPal, Super Thanks supporters. Your help goes a great long way to keeping this channel going. And the old subscriber count's going up. But don't forget, if you're not already subscribed, do subscribe and hit the old bell notification button. That way YouTube will inform you every time I upload a new video, especially if you hit the all options button. Well, that just leaves me to say, thank you very much for watching. Trevor out.